Wowie Zoe commented on the first episode of this experiment. Chris Carpenter does not speak English as far as I can tell. I love that for him. What? Hello, my friends. Welcome in. It is the 1 year check-in on our 7 Kids in 4 Continents series. Let's go take a look at Chris Carpenter, because that's not intentional. Starting us off as we normally do, it is June 30th, 2024 in the save. Okay, so here's Chris, still on a 0 per week contract, a pay-to-play contract with Real New York FC, because we just, in America, if you don't know, my friends, we just take all the things of all football everywhere and just use them all at once. So it's Real, and it's New York, and it's football club, it's all together. He's now 17 and a half and now capped at the under 23 level. Does he speak English? Yes, he does speak English. Well, at least there's that. So I'm not sure if that's because when I set it up in the editor, I picked, San Marino as the second nationality, or if I just clicked the button wrong and accidentally removed English from him. But you know what? It just goes with the story. He's from Queens, he's got the Italian heritage, and along the way, he's picked up English. Maybe that'll help him out with his career. He now has 14 appearances, but that's in this season, because I was like, wait a minute, didn't he have that many last time? He's on a 7.65, 2 assists, 2 players of the match. We go look at the history, this is the second season. There are some leagues where it's like part-time, right? He ends up with 23 in the previous season with a goal and 2 assists and a red card. On a 7.67. Now he's on a 7.65. I'm guessing like maybe halfway through whatever this season is. 14 total appearances, 2 assists, 2 players in the match. No red cards, but just the 1 yellow. Looking at his attributes, he's only lost 1 on corners. He's gone from a 7 to a 6. Everything else is essentially the same, and he's gained 5 pounds. So Chris is showing that we can put on weight at least 12 months after the experiment starts. So that's good. And yes, every time I remember to then put the attribute analysis over there on the right-hand side. I thought I saved it, but it's defaulting back every single time. As you can see, attacking is not really Chris's thing, so he's not that attacking fullback, at least right now. Doesn't have really good vision. Speed, physical is about all right. Defending and mental are okay. Aerial, not so great. But again, 17 and a half, still has got a way to go. Let's go see if we can figure out the under 23 thing now. Okay, so this is interesting. Chris did get the start against the Argentina under-23s in a 3-1 victory for the United States. What? Did a 6.7, and in the upcoming month, in the month of July, is the Olympics. Will Chris make the cut for the Olympics without a contract? I guess we'll find out. And because I know somebody's wondering, did Alexi Lawless move up with the under-23s from the under-20s? No, it's Marko Mitrovic. Chris has remained relatively injury-free. He does have a hammy strain for 3 weeks. That was on May 2nd, so he's should be good and not injured coming into the potential international window if he gets called up. I think that's all I can show you on Chris. I am more hopeful than I was, last episode, because he's now been capped at the under 20 and under 23 level. He's got an international start. You've got to think that leads to some sort of movement. Maybe he has to turn 18, so maybe it's the next episode when we get to that. But he's at least playing in his league, and he's getting some international exposure. That's got to be a good thing. Next, we're going to go look at Gustav Farkas, and fantastic. He's moved clubs, so we were worried. So I'm still worried because I don't see any season stats down here, but let's just take this one thing at a time. He signed a contract with Polytechnica Lasci. Let me know in the comments if that's anywhere near correct. In February of this year. So he wasn't at his first club very long. It's a, 3-year deal until 2027 with an optional contract extension. You got a loyalty bonus and all sorts of lovely things. After he moved, he got 2 total starts for a 6.75 in the Romanian Liga 1. Okay, interesting. So he's gone from Hungary to Romania. Presumably, maybe that's a better opportunity for him to get some playing time. It looks like Polytechnica are in the top division in Romania. They are currently 12th, predicted to be in 10th. I'm not sure if that's a terrible thing or not. He's not listed over here in any of the key player, hot prospects, or anything like that. But he is showing up, at least at this very moment in the save, as the right center back. So, and he's got a 1 to 3 million value. So he's at a real club in a real league. He's escaped the lower amateur divisions of Hungary. That's a positive. Of course, it looks like in this league, 7th through 16th end up in a relegation group, which seems a tad aggressive if you ask me. Wowzer. So we'll have to see how that plays out because they're currently in 12th. So they're firmly in the we're going into the relegation group. That seems awful large to put that many teams into a relegation group, but whatever. So it looks like pretty much his attributes have stayed the same. He's actually one higher on determination, but everything else is pretty solid, and he's gained a whole 6 pounds. But imagine he's gone from 0 a week, leaves on a free, and is now making 1.1 grand a week, and he's essentially 10x'd his value from 100 to 300k to 1 million to 3 million, that's quite the jump, to be honest. At 17 years old. The Romanian team does have like the July to June type schedule, so they haven't started playing. They've just been doing preseason and all that kind of stuff, so I took a look at that. But I was worried about Gustav, so I'm not as worried because at least he's now in a real league with a real team and his value's gone up. So we'll have to see how that turns out next episode. And then there's Greg, who is still with Verona, not that one, in Ireland with the under-19s. He's still on his original youth contract, 0 per week. He has another, whatever you call that, 17 months on that contract, 85 to 250k value. Now knows the midfield spot, like as the dark green, isn't playing. It must be that he's playing at the under-19 level, right? That's the only thing that I can think of. No youth caps for the Czech Republic. So he's got all of his options open. Still aiming to be in the current first team in the coming years. I believe in you, Greg. Has remained injury-free. Is that because he's not playing? And I just took a look at his attributes from the last episode. Nothing has changed except he's gained 4 pounds. So, it looks like all of these guys in the first year are going to gain 4, 5, 6 pounds, something like that as they continue to develop, put on that muscle mass. I'm more concerned about Gregory Bros than I was last episode. Do you agree? Forget gaining 4, 5, or 6 pounds. Marcus has gained a whole 7 pounds, and his strength has gone up by 1, probably in association with that. Still with Matra, still not getting paid. We do have the wanted icon, so we'll go take a look at that here in a second. Still just has the 4 appearances and 5 goals at the Asian Games on a 735, so nothing has changed there. He's wanted by Ado Den Haag. If you've not seen my channel before, I did an entire series with Ado Den Haag. I'll put a, it'll be here. It'll be up there. And also Shandong in the Chinese Super League. Is there a connection between Ado Den Haag and Indonesia? Because that seems really random that he would have a connection there, or that they've scouted that. They're like really getting into it. Or maybe it's that Ado Den Haag scouted like the Asian Games. Is that more likely? Still just the twisted ankle from last episode, so no changes there. He's still just capped at the under 23 level, and they haven't played all 2024. So the first 6 months of the year, there have been no games, so nothing for him to be able to come shine in those. He's got 2 years left on his contract. He's got 2 clubs sniffing around, so that gives us something to look forward to in the next episode. It looks like we've got another move as we go back to South America with James Mithriak, 17 and a half years old, now plays for Union Magdalena, 450k to 1.4 million value. Let's see when he made the move. February of this year. That's interesting. Two players moving in February. Okay, it's a contract through just the end of this year. Okay, so he's got 6 months left with an optional contract extension. He moves on a free. He ends up with 13 in the first, 6 months of the year, or I guess, 4 months because he moved in February. 13 starts, 2 goals on a 6.76. 2 cup starts, though, on a 6.3. Okay, he ends his Atletico Bello home club where he grew up with 15 total starts, a goal, 2 assists on a 7.23. So makes sense he's moved up into the Primera B, which has Union Magdalena in 16th, but that's because there's no points. But I think this is, oh no, it's South America where they do like the Apertura and the Clausura. Okay, what does this mean? Apertura, they were in 9th on 20 points, just missing out on whatever this split is, whatever that means. So if we go to league table, they're still in 9th. I think the league table is overall. I know nothing about this league in Colombia. I apologize. I just think it's weird that you don't get a media prediction. Like, even the media is like, I don't know what's going on here. But overall, you've got a 2-star training facility, 2.5-star reputation type club that's horrifically in debt, just fine. And importantly, there on the right, James is considered a key player for them on $1,600 a week. It looks like they're playing in some sort of 4-2-3-1. He is the number 10. Maybe you recognize some of these names that I don't. All right, let's dive in on his attributes. His crossing, first touch, and long shots have all increased by 1. On the mental side, his anticipation, decisions, teamwork, and work rate. No, sorry, vision have all increased by 1. And physically, his acceleration, agility, pace, stamina, and strength have all gone up by 1, and he's gained 7 pounds. He's still 5'7", but that is a lot of attribute development, which is really good. I'm very pleased with that. I think that's all I can show you with James. Obviously, we've got his contract coming up at the end of the season. If there's something with any of these players that I haven't shown you that you want to see, leave a comment and I'll do my best to go in and respond back to you on YouTube. It looks like we've got our first big move. CDB is no longer in Sweden. He's with SM Kane. I'm not sure how to pronounce lots of words. Liga 2 in France, if you will. So let's take a look when he moved. He's up to 3.3 million to 10 million in value, 3.8 grand a week on a deal until 2 years from now. So did he move in February? He moved January 31st. So everybody's moving in like the winter windows. I mean, he's got a 1-year contract extension, got a pretty sizable loyalty bonus. Has got 39,000 left on that. He ends up with no appearances for Skoftabens. Moves for 56 grand though, so that's interesting. And last season ended up with 11 total appearances, 2 of those being starts with a goal on a 6.79. That's not bad for a midfielder, right? You go, okay, you pick up a goal and they bought him and immediately started rotating him in and he got a couple starts out of it. Not bad, not bad. Looking at his attributes, it looks like no like significant changes. Obviously, he had a lot of double digits already, but you kind of wonder going to Ligue 2 if that would be, kind of a catalyst. He's only been there 5 months, I guess. But his work rate, I think it's pace and strength all increased by 1. He gained 5 pounds in comparison to when we saw him last. Importantly, he's remained injury-free. You know what I'm wondering with this, with not being able to see the form, is this because for like the European clubs where it's the July to June schedule, they've already kind of kicked over into the next season. Do you think I should maybe like holiday forward annually to like May 30th or something like that to see if we can catch that? Or should I keep doing June 30th and we just kind of leave it as is? Let me know in the comments below. Other things I'll try to remember to show you as players are moving around. So CDB now knows basic French and he has an agent, Eric Erickson. Fantastic. So we'll have to see if, in one version of this experiment in the past, I had one agent kind of be the super agent for all of these, but we'll have to see what the agent ends up doing with the player. So he's been known to laud his clients to other clubs. That's good. That means that CDB, if he continues to develop and get, better and better, the agent's going to help kind of push those things along. Kind of along those lines, James has got an agent as well, Stephen Mania. He's been known to laud his clients to other clubs while also being regarded as a very impatient negotiator too. So we'll have to see how that turns out for James. Okay, this is interesting. Gregory Bros has got an agent too. So interesting. Okay. Brian Vasquez, who's an American based out of California, has been known to laud his clients to other clubs. Oh, and Chris Carpenter is also with Brian Vasquez. So that's interesting, particularly on Greg, because Greg's not playing, at least that we can see. Gustav's agent is Attila Toth, also known to laud his clients to other clubs while being regarded as a very impatient negotiator. Lots of impatience in the agent ranks. And the same thing for Marcus Fromm. Jaya Azmi, who is lauding his clients and very impatient. Oh, as a very patient negotiator, I can read. And of the players we've seen thus far, I just want to point this out. CDB and James both have the yellow half star. The other ones are 5 gray stars. So maybe growing in reputation, but these are the first 2. And it's probably because they've made moves to clubs and all that kind of stuff. But maybe the Romanian league for Gustav is not as high level, so it hasn't provided that much of a reputation boost, but at least CDB and James are officially on the map. My friends, as I've noted in other episodes, I'm rebuilding my channel after a 2-year break. I'm also making a go of content creation as a way of earning an income. Your support is immense. It really means a lot. All of the comments on the first episode, I'm recording this in advance so that I can try and stay ahead and keep content coming to you regularly. To be honest with you, 2025 has been a brutal year. And so just seeing all these comments of hype and I'm so glad the series is back and all that kind of stuff really, really warms my soul. And that's not, being over the top. It really is nice to see. Even the comment on, I don't think Chris speaks English was, oh no, what has happened? So I really appreciate your support. If you're enjoying this content, a like, a comment, and a subscribe all tell the algorithm to keep sending fans of Football Manager content back to the channel. If you're interested in supporting my endeavor of making content as a way of earning an income, right now the best way to do that is patreon.com/grayhairgaming, because I'm not monetized on YouTube yet. I've got to get 4,000 watch hours, and we're making progress there. Hopefully this series will help. But again, thanks for your support. It really, really means a lot. Okay, let's go check in, last but not least, on Chase Rem down in Australia with Brisbane Roar on that $425 a week contract. No changes there. That's the original one. You wouldn't expect something, he just signed a contract, whatever it was, a year ago at this point, but from the last episode, 6 months back. Still get the minimum release clause that's only valid for another, 15 months, something like that. Is playing in the A-League. Now, not a lot. He's got 3 starts and 1 sub. In the A-League, it says the A-League and then the A-League regular season. I'm guessing that's like MLS with the supporter shield and then MLS as a whole or something like that for like the combined. Anyway, but what that means on his history screen is it now shows him no longer with the NPL team and now fully with the Brisbane Roar. A 6.88 with 2 conceded goals and 3 clean sheets. Not bad, right? We'll have to look, and I will take a look at this. Is he getting starts because somebody else was injured or because like he's now the goalkeeper? Let's go find out. It still looks like Macklin Freke, not sure if that's how you say it, is still the starting goalkeeper, 25 starts as of this point in the save, and Chase has got the 4 with the 2 subs, but Macklin got sent off in the 5th minute of the game against the CC Mariners, which then obviously let Chase come in. They're down a man, he does a 6.4. Is that really the goalkeeper's fault when you're down a man? A 6.4 I think argues probably not. And it must have been a bad red card would be my guess, because then Chase starts the next game on a 6.7. They draw against Wellington Phoenix. He starts in the game after that on a 7.1 against Melbourne City. And then he starts after that and then gets a knock against Perth Glory. So that probably explains how Chase got his opportunity. On a 6.88, not bad, but the other guy's 8 years older. So that makes sense that you wouldn't just slot your 17-and-a-half-year-old in to be your starting goalkeeper all the time. It's more of oh shoot, the guy's injured or he's out on a red card for 3 games or something like that. Now let's take a deeper dive on Chase's attributes. He's got aerial reach has increased not by 1, but by 2 to 15, which is great to see. His one-on-ones has gone up by 1 as well. His throwing and anticipation have increased by 1. His composure and balance have increased by 1, as well as his jumping reach. So he's got a little bit more spring in his step to help block those shots with his aerial reach. And his goalkeeping technique has increased from a 1 to a 2, or his technical, I guess is what that is. But that's still, those are pretty low, 5, 3, and 2 there on the bottom right-hand side of the attributes. And he's also gained 7 pounds, gone up from 167 to 174. His value has increased just a smidge by 50 grand on both the bottom and the top end, so that's a little bit something. Again, still that young goalkeeper, but got the professional attitude, continuing to develop. We were kind of thinking Chase might be like leader of the pack, he or CDB. I saw those comments, but this seems more like steady, I think. And again, goalkeeping, you might peak a little bit later than some of the other players, so maybe Chase has a longer career. But that's a pretty solid start. Remember how we were excited about Chase having some under 23 chances, like literally like the next week after the last episode? Well, he got them. Against Kuwait under 23s, he did a 7.7 and a 4-0 victory with 147 people in the stands. But the next game against Oman under 23s in the Asian Cup group stage, he did a 5.9. A 5.9. And they still won. Wow. Only 32 people there to watch it. Did he give up a penalty? Is like that what maybe that first goal is? But you get a 5.9 and your team still rescues you for a 3-1 victory in the group stage. After that, it doesn't show him here, which is concerning. Like, again, I'm totally open to hearing from you. If there's some other way I can get these to show up, but I can't click on the match details or whatever. So I think it's if he's on the short list, he'll show up. It'll give me the deeper details. Did he get benched in the next 3 games and they just rolled somebody else out? It's hard to tell, but Chase is currently listed as the substitute goalkeeper in a team that only has 5 players in the starting 11 of the under 23s. I know it's like they're in between, competitions or whatever, but that might be an indication. Chase has had some injury issues now. He's got 4 injuries, 2 major and 2 moderate, so that's not ideal. Pulled ankle ligaments and then a pulled hamstring. So he's not had any like broken bones or long like multi-month injuries, but that's not great. And then looking at his information here, Adrian Taylor is his agent, Australian, known to a lot of his clients, but is a very patient, not impatient negotiator. And I think that star is still nominal. I think that's still a half of a star for Chase. So that'll do it for this episode, my friends. Again, I've got them stack ranked by transfer value. We still have Marcus and Gregory Bros that are aiming to have opportunity in the first team. That's in their long-term plans. Nobody else has any plans besides being on holiday for some of them. Any ideas right now? I'm still a smidge worried about those two. It's good that they've all got agents. That makes me feel better that like the game is recognizing them. But the fact that Chris is still on an amateur contract, again, that could be a thing in the United States where it's like you're not signing contracts till you're 18 or something like that. I'm not actually sure how it works in FM. But if you enjoyed that episode, my friends, hit the like button. We will check in next time. I'll go a full to the second year. I may kind of pause us at like May 30th around there to see if we can catch some of the form, because it'd be interesting to see like how they're playing in the individual games. But maybe you tell me in the comments that's not how I'm going to be able to see that, in which case, please do so, or just let me know that you're enjoying it. And we'll see you next time. And to be clear, that next time I'm on a Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday release schedule, and the experiment is going to be every other day, or every other release day, if you will. So I'll have other content in between. I started it out at the beginning of the series with the 2 episodes, Tuesday and Thursday, kind of back to back, because it's fresh and new and exciting. This one's coming out on a Sunday. After that, it'll be every other day. Last thing I want to sneak in here at the very end of the episode is there are 2 people from my Discord community, Kate, who's one of my mods, she's Old Lady Plays online, and Eduardo Valente, who I intended to put into the experiment series, and I just completely whiffed and dropped the ball. So the imposter syndrome that sits on my shoulder is back, full strength, rolled a nat 20. All those things are happening. I promise if FM26 has experiments, we'll get you both in there. I'm so sorry. Much love.